Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jag, and in today's class with popular demand, we are going to continue with our grade 10 content on the method of substitution. This is method of substitution part 2. Okay, with that, we're going to try a couple of the examples from the textbook, and what we're going to do is there's just an extra step here, and this is actually the only way the teacher can try and trick you in this section, okay? Is basically by giving you an equation that is not isolated. Okay, so I have to do that extra step to isolate one of the variables. Okay, so with that, let's get started. So let's try an equation here. So we're going to try 2x plus y equals to 4. Okay, and in the second equation, it is 4x minus y, all right, equals to 2. So I'm going to make a line here, okay? Just to separate the two equations. Again, this line kind of represents the equal sign, okay? So if I look at these two equations here, okay, I notice actually in this case, I don't need to isolate anything. Is everyone looking really carefully? Okay. Basically, if you were doing the method of elimination, actually, I wouldn't have to isolate for the variable. But because we're doing the method of substitution, I'm going to isolate. So let's put isolate equation 1, okay? And again, we have to remember that the method of elimination and substitution give you the same answer, okay? However, on a unit test, the teacher will say, like, use the method of substitution to find the point of intersection. And at that point, I can't use elimination, or the teacher is going to take off marks, or maybe just mark the whole question as being wrong, okay? So we're going to rewrite this equation here. This is equation 1. Okay, I'm going to isolate for y. So you're going to take the 2x over, and it's going to be 4 minus 2x. Okay, make sure you're changing the sign every time you go across the equal sign. Okay, so you can see I've isolated equation 1. Then I'm going to substitute equation 1 into equation 2. I always write the statement out so the teacher can see what I am doing, okay, and all of my steps here. Always write out the equation first. So 4x minus y equals 2 before you sub it in, okay? So make sure you watch carefully for the signs in this example. I'm going to write 4x minus the y value, which is 4 minus 2x equals 2. Okay? And you notice that I'm putting whatever I substitute, I'm putting it in brackets here, okay? The sign is going to make a difference. If I'm looking closely here, there's nothing in front of the brackets, but there's actually a 1. I'm distributing the 1 out here, all right? So it becomes 4x minus 4, okay? And if you open up the second part of the brackets, it's going to be minus 1 times minus 2, which is positive 2x equals 2. Okay, does everyone see that? So make sure you are watching the signs or you're going to end up with the wrong answer, okay? I'm going to collect the like terms and take this negative 4 to the other side. So it's going to be positive 4. Okay, on the left side, I have 4x plus 2x, which is 6x equals 6. All right, and this looks good because we don't have any fractions happening here. I'm going to divide it by 6 on both sides, okay? And here, the 6 is canceling out, and x is equal to 1. So remember, we are not done here. The point of intersection includes an x point and the y point. Okay, and I always sub it back into this isolated variable equation, which is equation 1. If I want, I can even sub it into equation 2, which is at the top. All right, so we're going to sub in the x, so 2 times 1. Okay, I'm going to write it going across, so it's 4 minus 2, and y is equal to 2. Okay, everyone sees how to do that? So we're subbing it into this equation just because this is the isolated form of the y, and it's always easier to do that, okay? And again, remember at the end, you're writing POI, the point of intersection is 1 and 2, okay? Again, some of the questions will tell you to actually check your answer. It says solve by substitution, check your solution. I'm going to take my point of intersection, which is x and y, and I'm going to plug it into both of these original equations. And you will notice that the left side is equal to the right side, okay? And don't do it mentally, okay? If the question on a quiz or test says to check your answer, I do actually have to show my work, okay? To check my answer here. All right. So are there any questions so far? Okay. Yeah, so that looks good. All right. So why don't we actually do that? Let's try the check first, okay? Before we move on. Okay, so I'm going to take off just this side here, okay? And I want to show you how to do the check. We're going to take the x and y value. So say I'm subbing it into equation 1. My x is 1, okay? And here my y is equal to 2. So it's going to be plus 2 equals 4. 2 times 1 is 2. And it's 2 plus 2 on the left side here, which is equal to 4. And I can see that 4 is equal to 4. Okay, that is in equation 1. Okay, so let's take it off. And again, we're going to also sub it back into equation 2. So in equation 2, I'm doing 4 times 1 minus 2. Okay, and then the minus 2 is basically from where the point of intersection, the y component is actually 2. Okay, so I end up doing 4 minus 2 equals 2. I'm checking basically the left side. 4 minus 2 is also 2. So 2 is equal to 2. Does everyone see that? So again, just plug in the point of intersection. It has to satisfy both of the equations, okay? And both sides should be equal. And if you notice that it satisfies one equation and it doesn't satisfy the second one, then your answer is wrong, okay? Make sure you go back and check your substitution method one more time. Okay, with that, let's try one more example. All right, so I'm gonna take this off. Okay, and I can see that we are getting really good at the substitution method here. All right, so let's try this example here. So this is the first equation. It's 2x equals y plus 5. Okay, and the second equation here is 3x plus y. And it's equal to negative 9. Okay. All right, so we're going to try this example here. Okay, and again, I notice, let's put an equal sign. Okay, I noticed that one of the equations is not isolated. Okay, neither of them are isolated for either x or y. So I have to make sure that I do that myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is isolate equation 1. And again, if you look at both of the equations, it's even easy to isolate equation 2. That's just up to you. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So I'm going to just write the equation here. Okay, I want the y to be by itself. I'm going to take the 5 to the other side. Okay, so y is equal to 2x minus 5. Does everyone see that? So we are just isolating equation 1 for y. And again, remember that I can also isolate the equation for x. Okay, that does not matter. Okay, now I'm going to substitute equation 1. Okay, into equation 2. Okay, so I can take this equation and let's rewrite the second equation here. Okay, and again, instead of putting the y, I'm going to put 2x minus 5 and make sure that you're putting it in brackets. Okay, so 3x plus 2x minus 5 equals negative 9. Okay, now because I'm not subtracting here, I'm just adding. Okay, I can put the like terms together here. So 3 plus 2, so 5x. And we're going to take the negative 5 to the other side. Okay, this is negative 9 plus 5, okay, which is negative 4. All right, so nobody freak out. I can see that we have a fraction here. Okay, we're going to keep all of our numbers as a fraction and make sure you're just reducing it. Okay, so I'm dividing it by 5 here. Okay. And the 5 is canceling out, so x is equal to negative 4 over 5. And again, the teacher will give you, okay, questions that have a fraction, just to make sure you know how to do it, okay? So we're going to take basically this x value, plug it back in to this equation right here. So negative, or 2 times negative 4 over 5 minus 5. Okay, make sure you're just multiplying the numerators together here. So this is negative 8 over 5 minus 5 over 1. Okay, I'm taking a common denominator and I'm just writing it going across the board, okay, so we can all see that. All right, So we're going to do, again, negative 8 on our calculator, minus 25, and we're getting negative 33 over 5. Okay, this is the value for y, okay? So I'm just going to write it over here. Okay, let's write it at the top here. So y is equal to negative 33 over 5. Okay, because again, I like to box my final answers here so the teacher can see it. And when you are writing it at the end, okay, it should again be just a point of intersection. Okay, put the x point first, negative 4 over 5. Okay, and the y point is negative 33, okay, over 5. So it looks just like this, okay? And again, don't get scared if you see the fraction. It's basically the same method. I'm just going to leave it in the reduced form of the fraction, okay? If I were to check my answer again, I'm going to take the x and y points of my point of intersection and just sub it back into these two original equations here. And both sides should be equal, and it should satisfy both of the equations to be correct, all right? Make sure you're always checking your answer. If the question says to check it, then show your work. If it doesn't, you should still be doing a mental check. Alright, so that brings this video to an end. Again, we covered Math 10. This is the method of substitution, part 2. And all you have to do is make sure you do that extra step for isolating the variable before you do the substitution. So I hope everyone enjoyed this content. And again, if you did, please make sure you're subscribing to the channel and click on the like button below because it makes a really big difference. Thank you for watching, and I'll see everyone next time. Bye!